Good morning, our audience. Today's press conference is with Chief Elvis Kaine, and I have with me in the studio also Christabel Masman and Chief Alaska. You're welcome to today's press conference.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Chief Elvis Kaine is the current electoral committee chairman of
Ndokwaneku, you know.
Udokwa NNU. Last 2 weeks, he was here to talk about the election and is here today to give us more updates on how the election process is going. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome. So, how far, sir? Have you gone?
Yeah, good morning, all our viewers. Uh, like introduced, I am High Chief Kaine Eneduwe Elvis. By the grace of God, I am the chairman of the 2025 NNU Electoral Committee. Like you stated, I was here about 2 weeks ago, and we talked on the activities as at that time. Uh, Today, I think I will make bold to say that we have progressed much. Almost everything we need to put in place have been done. And by the grace of God, the election we hold on the 8th of February as planned. So everything is on course.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Last time you came to this studio, you told us you were having about four aspirants for the position of the President General.
Candidates, not aspirants.
All right.
No, for now, they are aspirants because it is after the screening and we now know those that will scale through that process that will have those we will call the candidates.
All right. So for now, are they still four or are they more than four, sir?
We have four of them.
All right. Then.
Yeah.
All right, sir.
Did you attempt to have deadline for collection of forms?
Yes, collection of forms was supposed to close on the 15th of January. But by the last press interview we had, I did mention that we did an extension of 5 days, pushing it to 20th of January. So the collection of forms ended on the 20th of January. So we have gotten all the candidates for all the positions.
When do you hope to do the screening?
The screening will be on the 7th of February, just a day before the election.
It's not too short a time for the candidate or aspirants to get prepared for the election. But if you screen them on the 7th, they're on the 8th, they are in for election.
For election. Well, aspirants must have gotten themselves prepared, even as we speak. I don't think they will wait until the screening is over before they get themselves prepared. They've been going about campaigning. So on the 7th, just to confirm those that were actually going for the election and all that.
In our last interview, I asked a question. How are you going to ensure that there is no vote buying? You explained extensively that by your watch, it's not going to happen. Do you still have that assurance?
Well, from the electoral committee point of view, no vote buying through us. But from the feelers we are having across board, we have rumors going around that The political class want to hijack the process, and they can only do that by inducement, that is financial inducement, and in a way that is vote buying. And I also stated then that as far as we are concerned, we know what concerns the electoral committee. But what goes on in the communities is what we cannot handle, because that is purely beyond our scope. And I also mentioned or appealed to our electorates that day that they should shun any form of selling of votes or buying of votes, so that they will not mortgage their voices and rights. They will not mortgage their rights and silence their voices. So if from the community point, they allow vote buying to take place, it means we have not learned from experience. Everybody knows that vote buying will eventually lead to getting square pegs in round holes, or round holes, or round pegs in square holes. So when you buy votes, the possibility that you are getting somebody, that is when you sell your votes, the possibility that you are having somebody that is not fit for the position is there. And there is no sane mind that knows that he is popular and he has what it takes to deliver the dividends of democracy to his people, that will actually think of going to buy votes. That would have been the beauty of democracy. But in our own situation, it's like monetary inducement democracy, where whoever has the highest to give takes the day. That is why we have been suffering, and that is why we remain where we are. And unfortunately, in Indokwa Nation, we have grown to a point where we have a disturbing trend that an Indokwa man will go outside Indokwa ethnic nationality to go and obtain mandate for a position that concerns Ndokwa nation. In this ethnic nationality election, for instance, I've not seen any reason why the political class should come in, because all the people that are contesting are our sons and daughters.
Sorry to cut you. Do you approve? Do you approve that the political class are in the race? What's the benefit of being the president general? Is there any financial benefit? What is making this political class to have interest in this election? Do you approve, or is it an allegation?
Well, that is why I say it is a rumor, and behind every rumor, there are elements of truth. Like in government circle, if government wants to introduce a policy or implement a policy, in most cases, especially if the policy could be anti-people, they could use proxy to release such information to the public and watch to see the extent of reaction from the people. If the people don't react enough to make them rescind their decision, they will not come out openly and implement. But there is an extent to which the people will react. They will know that it will not be convenient for them to introduce the policy, so they will drop it. So in this case, it is a rumor, but behind every rumor, there could be some elements of truth. People have been writing to us, telling us where they have been meeting and what they have been doing, also mentioning names that I will not disclose here, and all that. So
what are you putting in
it
place?
is actually a disturbing trend. And I will at this point call on all our clan PG, that is clan president generals, to be strong and stand firm. Because from the electoral committee point, we are standing firm, knowing that the entire Ndokwa people are watching. And if there are leakages from the committee, everybody will know. And I've sounded it to all members of my committee to stand upright and shun anything that will tarnish our image or bring our integrity to question. The same way I am calling on the clan PGs to be bold and shun anything that will make them to be indicted, either during or after the election. Because Ndokwa people are watching everybody. They are watching the electoral committee. They are watching the clan PGs, since all the delegates are from the clans. So the possibility that the leakage will come through the clans who will nominate the delegates will be there. So if the clan PG stand firm, I'm sure we will get it right. But if they give in, then the process will likely be flawed. And that is why I will also use this opportunity to call on Ndokwa elders and leaders, because the rumor is everywhere. I'm calling on them to go and investigate and know what to do before the date of the election, so that we can correct this situation once and for all. Everyone has been shouting that Ndokwa people have always been marginalized and all that. Who is marginalizing who? We have House of Assembly members like every other ethnic nationality has. We have all the structures. So if we have been marginalized, it means we are marginalizing ourselves, because we are the people that are suturing those that cannot effectively represent us.
As a lecturer, committee chairman.
Sorry, let me also come into the other one. You are talking of if the political class are getting involved, what is their benefit? That is what I have actually not come to understand. Because as the NNUPG, let them also check from past records. Has NNUPG actually played any role in politics to ensure that a particular candidate wins election? In the first place, they're supposed to be apolitical. So they're not supposed to be involved in party politics. That does not mean that they are not supposed to cast their votes during election. But they are not supposed to lean on either side. So I've not seen any particular role that NNU PGs or NNU as a team has played in the past to make it a must for any political party or any group of politicians to struggle to ensure that they feature a candidate that will emerge. So that is, I've not seen any benefit to any political group. Rather, it will have been to government that if any PG wins, government is expected to sit with the PG and align the group with the government policies and programs. And that is what it means, because the NNU will not be operating outside the law. They are operating within the law. So whatever the state is doing, they are supposed to bring the PGs and the team to align with government policies and programs.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Back to the election. As the electoral committee chairman of the forthcoming 2025 NNU election, what are the modalities you have put in place in as much as people will try to do one thing or the other as the committee? What modalities have you put in place to make sure that the election is free and fair?
Well, like I stated it earlier, that we have put everything in place to ensure that the election, from our own point of view, will be free, fair, and credible.
Yes, sir.
We have a security put in place. We have structures that will ensure that the actual number of delegates, because it's delegate election, it's not an open election. So delegate election, and the number of delegates are known. And we have put in place a system to make sure that if A is a delegate, A should be able to identify himself or herself before access into the voting venue. So, and the ballot materials are also printed to match with the delegates. So we have put everything in place just to ensure that there won't be any manipulation in the venue of the election. So that is why we are sounding it here that our people at the community level, at the clan level, should be firm and ensure that there is nothing like vote buying from their end. Because once that is done there, it means in the field everything will go smoothly and we'll have a smooth.
Chief,
Yeah.
I will ask this question because you are a stakeholder. Ordinarily, the question would have been for President General of NNU. I needed to know, or local people needed to know, has our voice been heard through NNU?
Well, I think you rightly pointed it out that NNU PG is they want to handle that. But as an Indokwa man, I won't say no, and I also wouldn't say yes, because our people that have been there have been having contacts with government. So on that note, I will say yes, because they won't just go and rub shoulder and say that, and will say they're having contact. Having contact means discussing with them and possibly presenting the problems of Ndokwa Nation. But when you shout and your voice is not heard, then can anybody boldly say you shouted? Because when you shout, people must hear you. So when you make presentation and there is response, positive response, then we can now say the voice is heard. So, like you as an Ndokwa man and a press man, you should also know that Ndokwa problems presented to government through our apex body have not received adequate attention.
Hi, Chief. I'm so interested on your function as the electoral committee chairman. There are rumors that some of the that your committee is trying to use this screening as a process to remove some aspirants. Is that true? If it's not true, can you please convince the aspirant the processes that you have placed for the screening, because the screening is going to take place on the 7th. So the aspirant might not have the opportunity to go right to the court. The election should not be held based on one or two processes that the committee has put in place to screen them out. Is those allegations true?
As far as the electoral committee is concerned, we have not received any of such allegations. Because whatever goes on in the area, as far as this election, the forthcoming election is concerned, once it is in the public space, they send to us. So we have not received anything like that. And for your information too, our activities are guided by the Constitution. And the electoral guidelines were clearly stated in the November 26 Vanguard edition of the newspaper. The guidelines stated the qualification of anybody that will contest. So if anybody did not meet up the qualification or otherwise, yes, somebody like that will be screened out. But there's nothing that will make the electoral committee to screen out anybody out of sentiment. No. The electoral guidelines lifted from the Constitution is what is guiding us. So as far as I am concerned and the electoral committee is concerned, we are going to do our screening based on the provisions of the Constitution and the electoral guidelines.
So you're saying that there is nothing of such going on, because the aspirants, some of them are scared that the date to the election, that's the day they will be screened.
Yes.
And before that screening will be over, it might be maybe 4 p.m., 5 p.m., depends on the time.
Yes.
And they might, anybody that feels that he or she is not satisfied, I believe there is room to go to the court.
Yes.
And before the person goes to the court, the next day is the election. How would there be an injection that the election should not be held based on this, based on this, and this? Is there any provision in the Constitution that you are using for this election that if someone feels that it's not satisfied
Yes.
with the screening, because if the political class are involved, you have the prerogative by you can deploy. There's a place of discretion
Yes.
in your policies, a place where the chairman can put on one or two system to use as the process for screening. All right,
Yes.
and that is the places where we can have one or two manipulations. Okay, so now if someone feels I'm not satisfied, the chairman has compromised, the team has done something that is not in the electoral what time frame for the person to say the election should not be held?
Well, I think the screening is on the 7th, election is on the 8th. And just like I told you, we did not put any additional screening, how do I call it? We did not manufacture any additional uh,
Process of screening.
any additional input to the guidelines as stated in the Constitution. What is there that we are going to use for the screening is purely what is constitutional. So if we finish the screening and anybody feels not satisfied, the section of the Constitution will be provided to the person. So it is not the electoral committee, it is the Constitution. So, and I don't think anybody that is screened out based on provisions of the Constitution will go to court because it's stated there. And it's also stated in the Constitution of the NNU that all of them are privy to. So that is it.
So when is the deadline and you're expecting the names of the delegates?
Well, the delegates, we closed the receiving delegates on the 29th, which was just yesterday. Yes, 29th, we did a collation, and all the clans have sent in their delegates.
Now, as the electoral chairman of NNU,
Yes.
the success and the failure of the election lies on you. Now, based on this rumor flying in the air about this hijack from
Yes.
the political class, if it comes to reality that the rumor is established as true,
Yes.
you have the intention of annulling the election.
Well, uh, It is only when there are irregularities that election could be annulled. If there is something like vote buying from the community point, but not right there in the venue for the election, the electoral committee has no powers over that. The one that will make us to annul is possibly when a group of people will come to the electoral committee, maybe to present a doctored report, a doctored result, and we want the electoral committee to announce. We are not election. We boycott the stage. But I don't foresee that situation playing out. Because on the day of the election, we'll have the ballot papers, we'll have the ballot boxes, everything will be clear. And we'll make sure that the ballot boxes are shown to everybody to ensure that there is nothing that is stuffed in there before the election starts. And after the election, the votes in each of the boxes will be counted with the representatives of each aspirant. And whatever is contained in the ballot boxes is what will be counted and the result will be announced. So that is it. So I don't foresee a situation where the election will be annulled because of any of these things. So if the rumor is established to be true, that is why I called on Ndokwa elders and leaders to step in now, investigate, and know what to do. Because why this election is absolutely important to all of us as Ndokwa people is that in recent times, this is the first election that incumbent NNU team is organizing to hand over. The previous NNU teams did not hand over. So it was critical committee that was put in place that midwifed the coming in of new teams. So this one is like a foundation. If we get it right from this point, it will be a thing of joy. If otherwise, it means we still have a very long way to go. So our politicians should please help us because we are one and we are all working towards the same goal. So let us get the choice candidate for the people, not the choice candidate for the politicians or for the government. Because whoever wins can still align with government policies and programs, and they will work as a team. So let them help us and have a rethink and allow a free, fair, and credible election to take place so that all Ndokwa people will be happy. Because very little thing could generate ripples, and nobody knows the extent to which such will go.
Okay, so
What,
okay. Nice.
what and what do you have in place for the
like
security, press coverage, and so on.
yes. Let me use this opportunity to also call on our press teams around that any group that wants to participate to be able to have full coverage of the activities on that day can send in their requests to us so that we will have our approval and documentation. So we encourage our press teams to come around. At least we'll be able to accommodate a number of them to come and cover the activities. But we need them to request formally so that will be able to control the number that will come in. And I will also use opportunity to call on our Ndokwa leaders and elders who will also be interested in coming to serve as observers, because it's only the delegates that will be allowed to come in. But Ndokwa elders and leaders who will be interested in coming in to the venue that day to stand as observers, they should also notify us so that we'll give approval and have our documentation to know who and who will be coming in to be with us.
Do you have foreign observers?
No,
When I mean foreign, outside Okwane.
outside the Ndokwa,
Yes.
I don't think there is any need for that. Once we have our people around, I think that will suffice.
Thank you so much, High Chief Elvis Kaine. Nice press conference with you today.
Thank you.
God bless you. We'll see you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me today.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate your good work.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.